Namaskaram, Day.
Namaskaram,
Yes,
sir.
we'll have an introduction and then we can start.
Yeah.
Good evening, one and all. I welcome all of you to the 459th session of Telangana Jana Vedika. This session is very, very important because we have always been trying, since last 9 years, we have been trying to integrate a dynamic integration between Mahatma Gandhi, Marx, and Ambedkar. So being this, on the 75th anniversary of our independence, we thought that we should discuss about Gandhiji. Because without Gandhiji, India would have not attained the freedom. When we talk about Gandhiji, basically, he's first, this is my understanding, probably the speaker will go into the depth of the whole subject and he will be enlightening us with his vast knowledge on Gandhi and the political scenario. Gandhiji, initially he united India spiritually by taking Ram Nam and all that. Secondly, he wanted to go into the masses. Without the mass support, attaining independence is difficult. And then he has chosen the peasant movement of Champaran. Champaran, in fact, was a curtain raiser. In 1917, was a curtain raiser for the independent national movement. And thirdly, he has chosen the central India for his political activity. He set himself in Wardha, and he has directed the whole movement from there. So being this the background, and I don't want to go much into this, I request, and in fact, I'm waiting for Dr. Akhtota Srinivasulu, who is a moderator, permanent moderator, but he may join late. In fact, but being the time is a very essence of our meeting. So I request James Prashant to do a formal introduction and introduce the speaker to the audience. Already we have introduced him in the brochure and the poster and all, but still I request James Prashant to do the introduction. Thank you so much. James.
Thank you. A very good afternoon to everyone. I welcome you for the 459th forum session of Telangana Jana Vedika on this Sunday. Our topic today is Mahatma Gandhi of our times. In Revolutionary Gandhi, Pannalal Gupta writes, anybody who wants to comprehend Gandhiji will have to understand two important facts. Firstly, Gandhiji's historical role, and second, his personal and independent ideology. Gandhiji was not merely the embodiment of nonviolence, he was also the symbol for the national struggle against imperialism. He was the representative of India in a special era, and he also had a special responsibility with regard to nonviolence. In his historical role, he provided leadership to the nation, and his one endeavor was to guide history along a certain direction. Although these two facts are not related, they will have to be understood independently. In the Hind Swaraj, you read, as Gerald Hurd points out, about the nonviolent method, the worldwide and age-long interest of Mr. Gandhi's experiment lies in the fact that he has attempted to make the method work in what may be called the wholesale or national scale. The difficulties of that application are obvious, but Gandhiji trusts that they cannot be overcome. The experiment seemed impossible in India in 1921 and had to be abandoned. But what was then impossible became possible in 1930. Even now, the question often arises, what is nonviolent means? It will take a long practice to standardize the meaning and content of this term. But the means is about self-purification and more self-purification. What Western thinkers often lose sight of is that the fundamental condition of nonviolence is love, and pure unselfish love is impossible without unsullied purity of mind and body. And Pannalal Gupta further writes, India, a country oppressed for 150 years, would any case have risen against British imperialism, even without Gandhiji. For rebellion against the British imperialism was an historical inevitability. However, in Gandhiji's person, India, unarmed, weak, and driven by 100 divisions, found her own unique vehicle for revolution. His speech, action, his struggles in South Africa all naturally proved effective in giving a concentrated form to the faith, hope, aspirations, and concerns of the Indian masses. His principles of non-cooperation, passive resistance, active resistance, Swadeshi, and so on, struck the right chord in the people's hearts due to their simplicity and practicality. They were adopted as a common, unanimously supported platform by all the masses. The 7-point program of 1921 became the rallying point of the anti-imperialist aspirations of the entire society, the masses as well as the educated elite. At that time, Gandhiji donned the mantle of historical responsibility. We are aware of the destruction brought about by World War I and World War II. Not content with the weapons fashioned by history, he wanted to put a new weapon in the hands of history, and it had the cryptic name of ahimsa or non-violence. Through his clarion call, Gandhiji awakened a slumbering nation. India now sat up and listened to the voice of history. While Gandhiji was aware that people were not adopting non-violence as a fundamental principle, however, he thought it would suffice even if they could adopt it as a strategy or a program of action. Though he was distressed to see various shortcomings and errors in the field of nonviolence, he never lost faith in his vision. The manner in which the unorganized masses of a large country came to listen to his directives was encouraging. Gandhiji said on 12th April 1942, "If I had started with nonviolence as a creed, I might have ended with myself. Imperfect as I am, I started with imperfect men and sailed on an uncharted ocean." Timid people who never rose up or protested contributed in their own small ways. They started to give up wearing foreign clothes and involve themselves in patriotic activity. Helpless women came to the aid of freedom fighters. Many men fought hand to hand with policemen. Many unknowingly or innocently landed themselves in jail. Poets, singers, writers, in various ways, provided inspiration to the common people. This is an exhaustive list, and we can possibly never know the contribution of different kinds of people in the process of national awakening and the process of thinking as one people and the process of imagining themselves as a nation. Gandhiji was particularly focused on the village economy being independent. Our villages, since ancient times, always remained self-sufficient with their needs met locally even during civil wars or rebellions. And they never depended on the Raja or king or the cities for commerce. British imperialism emasculated the Indian cottage industry and thus making them dependent on their industry. As a result, tens of thousands of villages lost their vitality and strength. With their trades gone, the population became solely dependent on agriculture. Gandhiji wanted to build the edifice of India's independence on the foundation of village industry. In this context, we have to question ourselves where we are now. The struggle for freedom and to exist as an independent nation culminated in the form of a modern republic which adopted federalism. Sachinayan Sahu, former OSD to the President of India, says, in fact, a survey of history concerning federalism throws light on the fact that federations have been formed primarily to forge national unity, pursue economic goals common to the people of the units joining the federation, amicably settle problems affecting those units, and capture the pluralities and diversities of faith and languages within the federal framework. so that cultural liberties of people are safeguarded and preserved. Another key objective behind the formation of the Federation is to ensure the defense and security of the units by the central authority. In fact, the federal provisions are indispensable to safeguard the bewildering varieties of our composite culture, which define the texture of our society and enable people to speak diverse languages and to pursue cultures and faiths of their choice and to follow ways of life they prefer. We know that this process is still ongoing, and it has produced the outlines of a system that is broad, wide-ranging, and eclectic, something which is uniquely Indian. Therefore, Mahatma Gandhi of our times is a topic for the nation as we move forward. We are immensely grateful that we have Professor Prasanna Kumar to enlighten us about this most unique individual of world history. He is one of the important orators in the country. And though he had a function in his house, even then because of the importance of the topic and of the occasion, he still made time to come and speak to us. We are very thankful to him. And Professor Prasanna Kumar was Director, Center for Policy Studies, Visakhapatnam, Director, Andhra University, 1995, member UGC panel on political science, 1993-2000, member Board of Management, Andhra University, 1994-95, Professor of Politics, 1980 to 1995, Chairman, Board of Studies, 1984-87, and 1992-95. He has successfully guided 25 research scholars for PhD and 15 MPhil scholars. Also, he has authored and edited over 20 books, 2 textbooks on politics and government of Andhra and on international relations, and several articles in journals and newspapers. He was a visiting professor at Georgia Atlantic University as a Fulbright Fellow. He was All India Radio's tennis and cricket broadcaster from 1964 to 2003 with over 15 Davis Cup and Challenger tennis tournaments. We are most honored to have Professor Prasanna Kumar in our midst. And now, before I hand over the floor to the moderator, as per our tradition at Telangana Jana Vedika, I would like to read the preamble of our Constitution. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November, 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Thank you. Dr. Akutota Srinivasulu joined, but there's some issues with his audio. He could not open his audio. Anyway, he will, whenever his audio is open, he will be joining us and he will try to moderate this. But meanwhile, I request Professor Prasanna Kumar to go ahead with his talk. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, Prasanna Kumar, sir, please go ahead, sir.
Andariki namaskaram andi.
Thank you, sir.
Honorable members of Telangana Jana Vedika, it is an honor to me to have been invited to speak on Mahatma Gandhi. And I said the title of my talk is Mahatma Gandhi for our times. The emphasis is on for our times. Our times are much different from the times when India won freedom. That's exactly what we are doing today and tomorrow, 75 years ago, when the shackles were broken and then India was liberated from the colonial rule, 15th August 1947. Now, this is a very challenging subject on Mahatma Gandhi. For the simple reason that, as Mr. Swaminathan very brilliantly said, Mahatma Gandhi, talking on Mahatma Gandhi is like the two epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata combined. Inexhaustible they are. The material is inexhaustible on Gandhi also. You can take any aspect. You can view Gandhi from any angle. And in fact, I was very happy that Sri Ramarao Garu was making a reference to Marx, Ambedkar, and Mahatma Gandhi. Because it was Mahadev Desai who was referred to as Engels and Gandhiji as Marx. What Engels was to Marx, Mahadev Desai was to Mahatma Gandhi, according to Mr. Ramchandra Guha. I have relied on the collected works of Gandhiji. I have relied on Rajmohan Gandhi's massive 745 pages book, Mohandas. I have relied on Ramchandra Guha's another book, India After Gandhi and Gandhi Before India, a very fascinating study. And these books have helped me considerably in learning in my own humble way many facets of Mahatma Gandhi not known to the general public. Do I start again?
Please go ahead, sir.
So it is a very massive, gigantic task to talk about Mahatma Gandhi. Now, before that, when I said our times, I would specifically refer to a few well-known facts. When Gandhiji left the scene, our population was about 34 crores, population of India. And when Gandhiji left the scene, one of his major tasks was unfinished, the interfaith harmony, the communal harmony. In the beginning of his life, the challenge was elimination of untouchability, eradication of untouchability. He traveled far and wide to remote villages, fought against the firmly entrenched privileged classes, fought for the downtrodden, fought for the Harijans. And then the best example was his own help. The person who worked in his house, his help, Chakraya, an Andhra Dalit. And when Chakraya was a loyal servant of Mahatma Gandhi, he wrote that his ambition was to make Chakraya the president or the prime minister of India when India wins freedom. That's exactly what he wrote. But unfortunately, Chakraya breathed his last much earlier than Gandhiji did. And he was crestfallen. In fact, his eyes, according to observers, turned moist. He was not so upset when his own wife, Kasturba, passed away. But when Chakraya passed away, he was so upset that his ambition to make Chakraya somebody could not be fulfilled. That is one side of it. It was genuine love for the disadvantaged sections, for the oppressed classes. Two important things dominated, I think, his philosophy in the beginning. One was, of course, the first was independence for India. And I must here refer to what Ramarao Garu was earlier mentioning. The times in which Mahatma Gandhi arrived on the scene on the political landscape were very interesting. The First World War ended, and the years between 1915 and 1920 were very turbulent. Not only turbulent, full of many changes. Hitler's rise, of especially his elevation of Nazism to a level, Mussolini's fascism, and capitalism from America. Woodrow Wilson went to Europe with 14 points, and his answer was an answer to Bolshevism on the rise in Europe in a way. And Woodrow Wilson, when he went to Europe, visited France and England, the French Prime Minister Clemenceau, a very mischievous man, very humorous man, he said Wilson arrived with 14 points. God was satisfied with 10 commandments. Mr. Wilson was not satisfied with even 14. So Mr. Wilson, one of the important aims of Mr. Wilson was the establishment of an international organization. That's a different story. So Mahatma Gandhi, at that time, when powerful forces, authoritarian forces, forces that wanted to control people were dominant, 1919, 1920, Mahatma Gandhi arrived on the scene. Having come from South Africa to India in 1914, 1915 onwards, he was touring. And 1920, Gandhiji's ascendancy as the leader of India was absolutely total. In fact, some of you might have read about the discussions between that dynamic lady, that authoritarian personality herself, Madam, that famous lady who arrived on the scene, and she dominated the scene. She had a quarrel with Indian leaders, and she disagreed with Mahatma Gandhi. And I just get her name in a moment. And that was Annie Besant. Annie Besant was the dominant figure, and she became the leader of a very important section of the society. And she actually fought the British government. She came from England, landed in India, criticized the British, and in fact, she thought that when Gandhiji took over as leader, when non-cooperation, to which Ramarao Garu made a reference, and non-violence, these two things, Annie Besant was sarcastically, she was making a comment. These two things make no sense, and that is not the way to. She, in fact, did not want the British to be driven out. The significant point in Mahatma Gandhi's approach was twofold. One was, he said two things should be avoided. One was fear, the other was hatred. He did not fear the British. He did not hate the British. As Arnold Toynbee very rightly observed, the greatness of Gandhi lay in the fact that he did not directly confront the British. He sent out the British very honorably. They left India without being dishonored by the Indian freedom fighters, without being insulted by the Indian leaders. That is why Martin Luther King was so impressed by Mahatma Gandhi's leadership and his approach. He said, without raising a little finger, without uttering a word of curse, a curse word, Mahatma Gandhi drove the British, the most powerful empire, out of India. That was one of the best tributes paid to Mahatma Gandhi. This was by Martin Luther King. He said that was something unique. Such a thing did not happen in human history, he said. So the most powerful British Empire was sent out of India through non-violent methods and without Gandhiji uttering a single harsh word against them. This was one side of it. Now, as far as the personal qualities are concerned, Mahatma Gandhi leadership for that matter, he mobilized the masses. His first goal was to eradicate untouchability, as I mentioned earlier. His second goal was to bring the disadvantaged, oppressed sections into the mainstream. His third goal was to build bridges of understanding between the Hindus and Muslims who are not living in very cordial conditions. And at the time, Mahatma Gandhi, as Sir Ernest Barker, the political scientist, wrote, Mahatma Gandhi's unique achievement was the liberalism of the West. Western democratic liberal ideas were blended with the devout philosophic tradition of India. That is a very beautiful statement. India's devout philosophic tradition. Our tradition is devout, philosophic. And the British liberal ideas were merged in the devout philosophic tradition. And the great bridge was built. And the bridge builder, according to Barker, was Mahatma Gandhi. This is one thing. Now, one more thing I must mention. Mahatma Gandhi was born in 1869. 1861, Tagore was born. 1863, Vivekananda was born. 1869, Mahatma Gandhi was born. 1872, Sri Aurobindo was born. I'm mentioning all these things because there was a transformation in India's approach after the disastrous 1857, what you call the first, we call it the first war of independence, 1857. There was India was undoubtedly in dumps, and the recovery started after Mahatma Gandhi, 10 years later, arrived on the scene. And by the time Gandhiji took to active politics, he was not even 16. The Congress in 1885, the Congress was born, and Mahatma Gandhi by the time was a lad of 16 years. And after 1885, 1890, he was growing up. And then he went to South Africa. The very important fact of life is that he visited and stayed and studied in 3 continents: South Africa, Britain, and India. So the values of these 3 continents, important values, the fight of the blacks against apartheid in South Africa, the fight of those who wanted liberation from the British, that fight was also there in Britain. Some of the British leaders, political leaders, they supported India's struggle for freedom. So the Indian values, the British liberal values, and the South Africans' courage, all these were blended, and Mahatma Gandhi evolved a new philosophy. Once when somebody said Mahatma Gandhi invented Gandhism, he said, I never invented anything new. I am for truth and satyagraha. I am for truth and ahimsa. And he said, truth and ahimsa are as old as the hills and mountains and rivers. There is nothing new that I discovered. He was so humble that he did not claim any credit for launching a movement that was unique in history. That is why Ramchandra Guha wrote a very fine line. The greatness of Gandhiji lay in the fact that when the situation demanded he could reduce himself to a zero. He totally disappeared. And as Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan very brilliantly, philosophically explained, the greatness of Gandhiji was that in times of acute crisis, when he was having a self-doubt, he used to go inside his soul, go into his secret corridors of his soul, he said. The secret corridors of his soul, and there was silence. That is why Gandhiji's emphasis on inner voice. In fact, much research has been done on the inner voice. What is this inner voice? This inner voice was a self-correcting equilibrium. He used to correct himself. He openly said, I committed many errors. I committed many mistakes. I corrected myself later. And this self-correcting equilibrium was one of the finest examples given for practice to his successors. I think Jawaharlal Nehru also later, though not to that extent, Nehru imbibed that quality of self-correcting equilibrium in certain critical situations. Talking about Nehru, I know, is a very risky proposition these days. Nevertheless, there's nothing wrong in saying that he inherited many of the good things the Mahatma bequeathed. That is different. Now, coming to the methodology he adopted, he believed in an India that is, number one, free from the menace of liquor. India that is free from the social disease of untouchability. An India that is free from communal discord, hatred. And in fact, it was very touching for that matter when freedom was won, August 14th, 15th night, when the whole nation was celebrating. We were school children. I had the privilege of listening to Jawaharlal Nehru's speech, Tryst with Destiny, though I could not understand all that he said at that time. It was one of the, later, when I read these things when I grew up, I thought it was one of the greatest speeches ever made, that Tryst with Destiny speech in 1947, August 14th midnight. Now, at that time, where was Gandhiji? Gandhiji was in a poor Muslim house near Calcutta. A message came that Bengal was burning. Hindus and Muslims were fighting. Rajagopalachari said, if Mahatma Gandhi won independence for India, there is something that is much greater than winning independence for India that he achieved. I am quoting Rajaji. I consider his tackling of communal problem in Bengal as greater than winning independence for India. Now, therefore, one of the greatest success stories as far as communal discord was concerned, his courage, absolutely facing bullets, facing guns, facing threats. In fact, bombs were thrown, all of us know, when he was doing all these things. And then Gandhiji said, if I am killed by a bomb or by a weapon or by an assassin, I would be very happy because my life will have been sacrificed for the sake of Hindu-Muslim unity. I don't think such a great statement was ever made. Such a great display of the act of courage was seen during those times. In fact, he was in Bengal consoling a Muslim family that fell under the clutches of exploiters of a particular fundamentalist group. So religious fundamentalism did exist then itself. There is nothing new about it. So he was fighting against religious fundamentalism. But then the question is, did Gandhi separate religion from politics? He did not. Because his religion is religion based on ethics. That is why he said very rightly that Buddha did not do any harm to Hinduism. he redefined it, he polished it, he made Buddhism, refined Hinduism is Buddhism according to Mahatma Gandhi. So he was all praise for Buddha for eliminating the shortcomings of Hinduism. And in fact, Gandhi did not say that there is a distinction between Hinduism and Buddhism. In fact, there was no distinction between one religion and the other. All religions stood for the same truth, for the same moksha, and for the same purpose of, for the same goal of liberation. These were some of the important tenets that he gave. Now, in one of the, I was fascinated by the statement of Rabindranath Tagore. Tagore-Gandhi exchanges were very interesting. Tagore and Gandhi disagreed on many things. There was a sarcastic reference by Mahatma Gandhi himself when Tagore, this book I brought out, this book is Footprints of Divinity. When I was inspired by the story I read. Now, Tagore and Gandhi met, they disagreed, but then such was their magnanimity, such was their respect for each other, that when Mahatma Gandhi left Tagore's house, Tagore wrote this beautiful line, Bapu, when you had taken your leave, I found God's footprints on my floor. What a beautiful statement, what a touching statement it is. Bapu, when you had taken your leave, I found God's footprints on my floor. Therefore, this was the title of my book, Footprints of Divinity, a collection of Gandhian statements, a collection of important editorials that our center's bulletin published. In fact, this, I did not stop there. Only in 2019, I brought out another book called Homage to Mahatma Gandhi, an anthology. And this book was very well received in the sense there is nothing original that I contributed. I only did scissors and paste, as they say about academics. You cut something from a book and then paste it, it becomes a book. Something like that. But then there are some original thoughts. The most important of them, I shall come to that at the end of my presentation, not now. What exactly is the relevance of Gandhi for our times? In fact, 2017, Rajmohan Gandhi, I had the privilege of meeting Rajmohan Gandhi also and listening to him. In 2017, Rajmohan Gandhi wrote a book. The title of that book is Why Gandhi Still Matters, an appraisal of Mahatma Gandhi's legacy. This is a very interesting question. I think in a way it's a very annoying question also. In fact, I was not happy with the title of Rajmohan Gandhi's book. It was a little defensive to say that Mahatma Gandhi's legacy has to be constantly renewed, validated by academics and researchers and writers. I don't agree with that argument at all. Mahatma Gandhi's relevance is eternal, everlasting. He is everlastingly relevant. He is relevant at the micro level. He is relevant at the macro level. There's no doubt about it. We only sometimes wonder why such books, why such validations are necessary of the arguments that Mahatma Gandhi put forth. What were the main arguments? The main arguments were social, economic, and political. Therefore, there was an economic solution to his political questions. There was a political solution to the economic questions. I still remember one very famous thing. In 1947, when India won freedom, when the West Bengal government, headed by Prafulla Ghosh, they went all the way to Delhi. They called on Mahatma Gandhi and asked Mahatma Gandhi for his blessings. Bapu, we're taking charge as ministers. Kindly bless us. We have come for your blessings. And you know what Mahatma Gandhi said? Very simple things he said. one of the most beautiful things I liked about it is be humble. Remember, you are servants of the people. You are not masters of the people. And the third point is very important, especially these days. He said, politics is meant for service. Pomp and pageantry should be avoided. That pomp and pageantry should be avoided. That austere approach to politics is essential. These were emphasized by Mahatma Gandhi in 1947 when these people went to Gandhiji during the time, that is when they formed the government. Now, I was also reminded of Gandhiji's visits to India, to Andhra Pradesh, to Andhra for that matter. He came to my hometown, Masilipatam, and Dr. Pattabhi Sitaramaya was his interpreter, translator, and he was constantly accompanying Gandhi. That is why Gandhiji once jokingly, he had a very high sense of humor. That's a very lovely thing. He said humorously, Pattabhi is the Baniya Sutrakara. I'm sorry, Gandhi is the Baniya Sutrakara, Pattabhi is the Brahmin commentator. It should be the other way around. But then he jokingly said, Pattabhi Sitaramaya is the interpreter. Gandhi is the Baniya Sutrakara. I propose all these principles, and all these are explained, translated by Pattabhi Sitaramaya to the people. Therefore, he said to Pattabhi Sitaramaya that he would like to visit the countryside. His visit to Rajahmundry pained him enormously. From the material I gathered, I collected this. I'm mentioning this because at that time, he went to Rajahmundry. It was night, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And then he did not have his food. The moment he landed there, in the guest house, he found some women. He asked somebody, why are these women here still at 8 o'clock? What are they doing? They were not replying. Then Gandhiji made bold to say, I will ask them myself. And then he asked them a question in Hindi, and somebody translated, why are you here? He came to know that they were prostitutes. He became so angry that he fasted that night, and he said, this is the way we exploit people. That is, this is the way we exploit women. And he was furious about it. It is only when he went to Kakinada that he felt a little comfortable, where what they were doing, he was appreciative of it. He really appreciated the constructive work that is being done by Andhras. But he had a sense of humor too, as I said. He said, the Andhras have captivated me. That's exactly what he said. They are very lavish still. They spend money, they serve. But one thing he was amused. The Andhras are very lavish in conferring titles on their leaders. Deshbhakta, Deshodharaka, etc., titles like film stars do. Our political leaders also were having titles, which amused Mahatma Gandhi. He said, I do not like them. But then he said, he made an exception. He met Kasinath Nageshwar Rao. These titles have not impressed me, he said. But in the case of Kasinath Nageshwar Rao, I am really impressed. He is Deshodharaka. And one line about Nageshwar Rao, I often quote. It is one of the best lines that Mahatma Gandhi spoke. His English was biblical, very simple, very effective, and very elegant too. He said, in the case of Nageshwar Rao, his title Deshodharaka he aptly deserves, because that line is, he is never so happy as when he is giving. What a beautiful line it is. The message to all people is, be happy when you give. Don't think that you are giving something of your own. After all, it is everybody's money. Don't claim credit for it. You're only sharing. This is a very powerful line, which almost was uttered by Mother Teresa in a different language. This digression may kindly be forgiven. I was greatly impressed by Mother Teresa's statement, which reminded me of what Gandhiji said. Mother Teresa very rightly said, wealth, spiritual, intellectual, and material is of no use unless it is utilized properly and unless it is shared. It should be shared by all. Wealth is not to be possessed. Wealth is not to be displayed. That is vulgar. Wealth is to be shared in whatever form, whether it is spiritual, material. Now, another aspect of Mahatma Gandhi's life or contribution to India, especially during the freedom struggle, that impressed me greatly was that he was against these organizations, caste organizations, state groups. These troubled Mahatma Gandhi enormously because, for instance, these fundamentalist elements today have emerged from these forces. And Gandhiji was always quoting the words of Sri Rama. His favorite god was Sri Rama. Rama is my favorite god, and Ramayana is the greatest work that I consider. He literally put Ramayana and Sri Ramayana at the top of the books he adored. He was greatly inspired by the story of Rama's life. And he said, fear not, hate not. These were the two slogans he gave during his tour of Andhra Desha. In my considered opinion, there has never been independence which is so wonderful as victory over evil, that especially with reference to the communal angle. Therefore, his fight was basically against oppression, against exploitation, against communal division. As far as a reference was made by Ambedkar, and I'm quoting a very amusing episode. I think it was Ramaragaru who made a reference to Ambedkar. There is an interesting reference to Sardar Patel's letter to B.R. Ambedkar. When he married Sharada Kabir, a Brahmin doctor, his first wife, Ambedkar's first wife, died in 1935. And in the letter, Sardar Patel wrote humorously, he said, Bapu and Ambedkar disagreed on many things, there is no doubt about it. I do not want to trespass into that particular controversy because that is neither relevant nor important in my opinion at this moment. He said, I agree that if Bapu had been alive, he would have blessed the marriage between Dr. Ambedkar and a Brahmin lady in 1935. That marriage he would have blessed. The reference to Gandhiji's faith, Ambedkar immediately replied, I agree that Mahatma would have approved of my marriage had he been alive. This is due to Rama's grace that this marriage took place according to Rajaji. So Rajaji was making a reference to the marriage between a Brahmin lady and Dr. Ambedkar, whose first wife passed away in 1935. So Mahatma Gandhi's, this story, the footprints of divinity I mentioned, the most important thing I thought, in my opinion, Gandhi was a paradox. It was an extraordinary paradox. He was light, but no ordinary light. It was Einstein who said, generations to come, it may be, will scarce believe that such a one as this ever in flesh and blood walked upon this earth. Christian missionaries from Europe felt that Christ lived in 20th century at Sevagram. Rajaji saw a parallel in the death of Sri Krishna and Gandhi. Both of them died, one to hunter's arrow, Krishna, and the other to God's bullet. That was Gandhi. Rajmohan Gandhi saw in Rama in Mahatma Gandhi. Rajmohan Gandhi, his grandson, wrote, "My grandfather went into exile when he should have been crowned. In 1947, when India won freedom, had Gandhi nodded his head, he would have been made the president of India. But he did not agree. He did not. Like Rama, he preferred exile to position," said Rajmohan Gandhi. Jawaharlal Nehru went lyrical, poetic. Nobody was closer to Gandhiji than Nehru. And when Gandhiji passed away, two important statements were made. You must have heard about them. Sarojini Naidu said, "This is a perfect death for Mahatma Gandhi. Because I don't want Mahatma Gandhi to die of the infirmities of old age. He should not die in bed. He should die standing. And he was skilled standing. And therefore, this is the ideal death. I don't cry. I feel proud and happy that this is the way Mahatma Gandhi died." And Nehru, when Gandhiji's body was there, Nehru, of course, he sobbed over the radio. That also we heard. Nehru said, "What a beautiful figure he is. He is a perfect artist, a king in loincloth and even bare body. He is lying on floor." What a tribute it is to the dead body of Mahatma Gandhi. A king in loincloth. Loincloth, he appeared a king, like a king. A king in loincloth and even in bare body. You also know about that joke when Gandhiji climbed up the steps of Buckingham Palace. Somebody joked, "half a naked fakir," etc., etc. And Gandhiji's joke was, "I'm wearing dress for both the king and myself." In fact, he said, "The king is minus force, I am plus force." That's what he exactly said. Gandhiji had a very pleasant sense of humor also. His son Harilal was a wayward boy. He grew up into an undependable eldest son. And one incident, not very publicized, you know very well, some of you might have heard. Harilal was a drunkard, and he one day pulled up Mahatma Gandhi. He went to Gandhi and said, "Oh, you are a dictator. You are not a democrat. You treat my mother not properly. You don't treat my mother properly. Kasturba was 3 months older than Mahatma Gandhi. You don't treat her well. You're a dictator. I'm angry. I'm going away." He took his box and he walked away. He went to the door and stood there for a while. Mahatma Gandhi went quietly to his son, patted him on the cheek, and you know what he said? "Forgive your father if he hurt you." That was one of the most touching moments. Which father would say to the son, "Please forgive me if I have erred"? This is exactly what he said. Gandhiji had a sense of humor too. His son was a liquor addict. And one day, Gandhiji said, "My son is sanctifying his anatomy in the holy Ganga of liquor." When somebody said, "What is your son doing?" Gandhiji said, "My son is sanctifying his anatomy in the holy Ganga of liquor," humorously said. He had a lively sense of humor too. He used to laugh at himself. He never felt hurt when somebody said something absurd or silly about him in public, or something was written like that. This is the story of Mahatma Gandhi, who led us from slavery to freedom, liberated us from foreign rule. And as I repeat, as Arnold Toynbee said, without hurting the British, he drove them away from India quietly, gently, honorably. And the British were very fortunate that they were treated so nobly by the fighters of freedom in India. Lastly, 3 or 4 minutes, the legacy of Gandhi. What has he left for us? That is a simple question. In my humble opinion, we are far removed from Mahatma Gandhi. We remember him now and then, occasionally. October 2nd in particular, we observe Gandhi Jayanti. In my opinion, the lesson of Gandhi's life is many-sided, multi-dimensional. It is in fact for us. Be humble, limit your wants, you'll be happy. And then don't use harsh words against anybody. First of all, put yourself in that person's position. That is why Gandhiji's famous statement was, you be the change you want to see in others. If you want your son to change, first of all, you change. If you want your wife to change, first of all, you change. There was a humorous incident. I shall close with that. One day, Kasturba and Gandhi had a quarrel. Chakraya was living in their house. Gandhiji asked Kasturba to clean the commode used by Chakraya. Kasturba said, I'm not going to do it. Then Gandhi said angrily, then get out of my house. Sevagram house, what was house? It was not a building. There was only some fencing, a small gate, wooden gate. So Kasturba walked away. Gandhi was nervous. He became nervous. Is she really going away? So she went to the gate, walked about 100 yards. And then Gandhi accompanied her and coolly said, you have married me in a sacred ceremony, not to drive me out of the house. Gandhiji hung his head in shame, and they both walked back. That's exactly the way he treated his son or his wife or his close ones or the people who opposed him in politics. He never hated Jinnah. Jinnah and Ambedkar gave him very hard time in the last months of his life, but he did not hate them. He tolerated them. That is why the highest virtue of Mahatma Gandhi, according to Mahatma Gandhi, is don't hate, don't fear, be yourself, and you will be happy. Thank you very much for the opportunity you have given. I'm willing to answer any questions put by the honorable members.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor Prasanna Kumar garu. మన కాలానికి మహాత్మా గాంధీ అనేటువంటి అంశం పైన ప్రొఫెసర్ ప్రసన్న కుమార్ గారు సుమారుగా 45 నిమిషాల సమయం పాటు మహాత్మా గాంధీ యొక్క పుట్టుక మొదలుకొని నేటి తరానికి మహాత్మా గాంధీ ఇచ్చినటువంటి సందేశాన్ని వారి యొక్క గొప్పతనాన్ని చాలా మన కళ్ళ కట్టినట్టుగా చెప్పారు. వారికి మా తెలంగాణ జన వేదిక తరఫున ప్రత్యేకమైనటువంటి ధన్యవాదాలు సార్. అట్లాగే ఇప్పుడు సార్ను ఎవరైనా ప్రశ్నలు కానీ ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ కానీ ఉంటే అడగవలసిందిగా వారిని అడుగుతున్నారు.
Hariprasad,
please.
Good evening, sir. This is Hariprasad from Kakti University, Warangal. Sir, good evening to Professor Prasanna Kumar, sir. This is first I have seen your photograph on your book Public Policy from Andhra University. I have seen personal on the screen first time, sir. It was my life ambition to see you personally. Because you are, sir, because you are my guru's guru. Dosigir Rao was my guru when I was studied in Kakinada Peace Center.
He came to me yesterday.
Yeah, I posted this message also, sir, to come into to join this. Sir, I am very happy to hear you, sir.
Thank you. I'm happy to
But
meet you.
my only problem is, so slowly Gandhi is going into the dark and Godse coming onto the surface in the present context. No, the present government also directly or indirectly promoting Godse, because in future maybe a person like Godse is going to be focused like a patriot. This is my only feeling, sir. Because the contemporary Gandhi as a present time, how to understand the present situation or the present government, because the present government is going to have some say Statue of Unity, spending thousands of crores of rupees on the statues. No statue is going to be planned even for Gandhi. I'm against for statues, in fact. But my feeling is only I'm sharing that they are going to start the statues spending thousands of crores. So how to understand these issues in the present context?
Manchi question is, sir, that's a very good question, because values.
Sir, can you take 2 or 3 questions and answer all of them, sir, or you want to answer one?
As you like.
Yeah.
So, number one, ఇప్పుడు ఈ స్టాచ్యూ డిసీజ్ ప్రపంచం అంతా బాగా మన భారతదేశంలో బాగా ఎక్కువైపోయిందండి. మా విశాఖపట్నం అద్భుతమైనటువంటి బీచ్, విశాఖపట్నంలో ఉన్నాను. ఆ బీచ్ లో ఎవరో ఒక స్టాచ్యూ పెట్టారండి, ఎవడో కావాల్సి వచ్చి. ఇంకా స్టాచ్యూలు ఉన్నాయండి. ఎవరో జోక్ చేశాడు ఒక ఆయన, ఆ స్టాచ్యూలు ఎందుకు పనికొస్తాయంటే కాకి రెట్లకి పనికొస్తాయట. కాకులు వాలి రెట్లు వేస్తూ ఉంటాయి. అందుకని ఒక ఆయన జోక్ కూడా చెప్పాడు. ఇంగ్లాండ్ లో జరిగింది ఇది. మీకు నెల్సన్ తెలుసు అనుకుంటాను, హొరేషియో నెల్సన్. మండేలా కాదండి, నెల్సన్ నెపోలియన్ టైం, ఆ టైంలో నెల్సన్ ది గ్రేట్ వారియర్, అతనికి స్టాచ్యూ ఉంది ట్రెఫల్గర్ స్క్వేర్ లో, ఇంగ్లాండ్ లో. ఆ స్టాచ్యూ మీద ఆయనకు కత్తి, ఆ కత్తి పెట్టుకుని ఇలా ఉంటాడు అన్నమాట. ఓ రోజున చటుక్కున స్టాచ్యూకి లైఫ్ వచ్చిందిట. ఆయన కత్తి తీసేట. ఆ రోజుల్లో అయితే కత్తి తీసి యుద్ధం చేసేవాడు. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేశాడు, కత్తి తీసి వేర్ ఆర్ దోస్ రెచెడ్ బర్డ్స్ అన్నట్ట. అవన్నీ రెట్లేసి వెళ్ళిపోయాయి, రెచెడ్ బర్డ్స్ అన్నట్టు. అలాగా ఈ స్టాచ్యూ అనేది దిస్ ఇస్ ఎ డిసీజ్ అండి. వీ హ్యావ్ టు నౌ యాజ్ రిగార్డ్స్ వై పీపుల్ ఆర్ నాట్ థింకింగ్ ఆఫ్ గాంధీ అన్నది, that's a very fundamental basic question, because this is an age of technology and we are forgetting values, we are forgetting individuals, and the cell phone has replaced something else. ఒక గ్యాడ్జెట్ వచ్చి ఇంకో గ్యాడ్జెట్ ని రిప్లేస్ చేసేస్తుంది. పుస్తకాన్ని ఫర్ ఇన్స్టెన్స్ సెల్ ఫోన్ ఉందనుకోండి, యూ వుడ్ లైక్ టు యూజ్ ఇట్ సెల్ ఫోన్ ఫర్ ఐప్యాడ్, ఇవన్నీ వచ్చేసాయి. సో ఇదివరకు చేతిలో పుస్తకం ఉంటే చాలా మంచి చదువుకుంటున్నాడు, చాలా మంచివాడు అనే ఉద్దేశం ఉండేది. ఇప్పుడు టెక్నాలజీ వల్ల, టెక్నాలజీ హ్యాస్ బ్రాట్ అబౌట్ ట్రెమెండస్ చేంజ్. అందుకనే దీన్ని ఏజ్ ఆఫ్ నియో మాల్థూసియన్ ట్రైలమా అన్నారు పెద్ద మనిషి. నియో మాల్థస్ అప్పుడు చెప్పాడు, జనం పెరిగిపోయి చచ్చిపోతారని చెప్పాడు. నియో మాల్థూసియన్ ట్రైలమా అని ఎందుకనంటే 3 పాపాలు ఉన్నాయి ఇప్పుడు ప్రస్తుతానికి. ఒకటి, ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎన్ ఓవర్ హీటెడ్ ప్లానెట్. ఇది వరకు 1900 సంవత్సరంలో 1 బిలియన్ 10,000 సంవత్సరాలు పట్టింది ఒక బిలియన్ అవడానికి ప్రజలు సంఖ్య. ఎవ్రీ 4 years కి 1 బిలియన్ యాడ్ అవుతున్నారట. ఇవాళ ఈ బిలియన్ 8 బిలియన్ అయిపోయారు. రేపు నవంబర్కి 8 బిలియన్ పీపుల్ అండి. భారతదేశం ఇందాక మీకు మొదట్లో మనం చేశాను కదా, 33 కోట్ల నుంచి 140 కోట్లు అయిపోయాం.
It is not only India's problem, it is a universal problem.
అది యూనివర్సల్ అండి. ఓవర్ హీటెడ్ ప్లానెట్ అంటున్నాను, అందుకని నేను మొదట్లో అన్నానండి ఓవర్ హీటెడ్ ప్లానెట్. రెండోది, మీరు అడిగిన ప్రశ్నకి అంటే చెప్తున్నాను విలువలు ఎలా మారిపోయి. రెండోది, ఓవర్ బర్డెన్డ్ ప్లానెట్, మోర్ పీపుల్, ఇస్ ఏ యూనివర్సల్ ప్రాబ్లం. మూడోది, కన్సంప్షన్ పెరిగిపోయిందండి. ఇట్స్ ఎ కన్స్యూమర్ కల్చర్. ద కల్చర్ ఈస్ వాట్ యు కాల్ క్యాపిటలిస్ట్ కన్స్యూమర్ కల్చర్, కార్పొరేట్ కల్చర్ లాగా మనకి తయారైపోయింది. దాంతో విలువలకి ఇప్పుడు కాన్వర్జేషన్ పోయింది. పీపుల్ ఆర్ నాట్ టాకింగ్ టు వన్ అనదర్. మీటింగ్స్ పోయాయి. టెలివిజన్ హ్యాస్ డిస్ట్రాయిడ్, టెక్నాలజీ హ్యాస్ డిస్ట్రాయిడ్ మెనీ థింగ్స్. ద సెల్ ఫోన్ హ్యాస్ డిస్ట్రాయిడ్. ఇంట్లో భార్యాభర్తలు ఇద్దరు ఉంటారు, ఇద్దరు మాట్లాడుతూ ఉంటారు. ఆవిడ సెల్ ఫోన్ లో ఎవరితోటో మాట్లాడుతూ ఉంటుంది, ఈయన సెల్ ఫోన్ లో ఇంకోటితో మాట్లాడుతూ ఉంటారు. సో కన్వర్జేషన్ హ్యాస్ డైడ్. ఇదివరకు ఫ్యామిలీ లైఫ్ భోజనం దగ్గర అక్కడ కూర్చుని కాస్త మాట్లాడుకునే విషయాలు, ఐడియాస్, ఇష్యూస్. పీపుల్ ఆర్ నాట్ డిస్కసింగ్ ఐడియాస్, ఇష్యూస్ అండ్ పాలసీస్ అండి. దట్స్ ద బిగ్గెస్ట్ ప్రాబ్లమ్. ఎనీ డెమోక్రసీ, గుడ్ డెమోక్రసీ, discussion and debate are essential. Even if you take advanced countries, Nordic countries, మీరు 6 చూసినట్లయితే the culture is totally different. They are advanced countries not because of their wealth, but because of their thinking, because of their attitude, because of their values. So an advanced country is a country where values are generated, values are upheld, and values are recorded a high template. అది అడ్వాన్స్డ్ కల్చర్. అది జరగట్లేదని నా ఉద్దేశం. చెప్పండి
సార్. చిన్న రిక్వెస్ట్ సార్. సార్, whenever we come to Vizag, we want to see you. Please permit us to meet you and
No,
to touch you.
absolutely, anytime.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Professor Sanjay Reddy has a question, sir.
Thank you.
Probably a comment or
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon అండి. చెప్పండి
Sir, namaste, sir. I retired as a professor from Kakati University, sir, in the Department of Political Science.
ఏ యూనివర్సిటీ అండి? ఏ యూనివర్సిటీ?
Kakatiya University, sir.
Oh, very good. Warangal.
Yes. We met, we traveled together once to Tirupati in the train.
Yeah.
And you taught me one or two things about how international relations has to be understood then. I was a novice. I just joined. So you asked me some questions and then I failed to answer. So you gave me a piece of your mind that day. And I really cherish that even today. The question is, sir, see, when in India, when Gandhi passed away, it was 33 and odd.
34 crores.
34 crores. Now we are 134 crores.
140 అండి.
140, yes, more 40 and odd. So the thing is, sir, how do we, the relevance of Gandhi, you know, you are talking about Rajmohan Gandhi's book and you are agitated that Gandhi has to be, you know, why Gandhi has to be, you know, the relevance of Gandhi has to be talked about. When a generation, I mean, 75 years is a long time. And after so many years, so many decades, and when people do not know Gandhi, my children do not know Gandhi as I read Gandhi. I read Gandhi and I could understand little of Gandhi. My children never read Gandhi, nor Nehru, nor anything except science. They have not read social science at all. So this whole generation of Indians, how do we bring back the, in quotes, Gandhism to this population, this young population?
Very important question. This is a problem.
That's one question, sir. How do we bring it? And the second thing is the changing world order. You have rightly said, sir, technology has taken over, the value system has changed. But earlier when Gandhi was there was some ideological basis. There was ideology and people subscribed to that kind of ideology. Now in the neoliberal context and the changing world order, the national interest is becoming very important. I mean, the realist school always said that, and it continues to do so. But now, when we look at Ukraine and Russia, the Russian interest, which it is with which it is going ahead with Ukraine war, in such a situation, how do we bring in Gandhi, and how do we promote Gandhi at an international level? These are
Two very important questions. Number one,
Thank you, sir.
it is basically, in my humble opinion, social sciences neglect చేయకూడదండి. That's number one. ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఇన్స్టెన్స్ ఈవెన్ ఇన్ ది యునైటెడ్ స్టేట్స్ వాళ్ళు ఈ ఎక్కువ కంప్యూటర్ సైన్స్ కానివ్వండి ఇవన్నీ కానీ చదివినప్పుడు అట్లీస్ట్ వన్ సబ్జెక్ట్ హ్యుమానిటీస్ పెడుతున్నారండి. యూ హ్యావ్ సివిక్స్ ఇన్ ఇంజనీరింగ్, వన్ పేపర్, ఆప్షనల్ పేపర్ పెట్టండి, కంపల్సరీ పేపర్ కాదు. బికాస్ వీఆర్ ఆల్ నాట్ ఓన్లీ సైంటిస్ట్స్ అండ్ ఇంజనీర్స్, వీఆర్ బేసికలీ హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్స్. Subjects must be humane. They deal with human values. So any subject that deals with human values, especially impressionable years lo, when they go to the university, akkada konni values imbibe chestarandi. Meer indaka adigaru ideas puchukuni travel chese vallandaru kuda iduruku Mobile American, Moving American ane pustakam vachindi. Dantlo the American, wherever he went, he carried the democratic fervor, the democratic ideas. Wherever the advanced countries they travel, they carry with them some ideas and values. మనకు కూడా రండి ఐడియాస్ వాల్యూస్ తక్కువైపోయాను కాదు, మన ప్రజలకు చదువు తక్కువ ఉండొచ్చు, కానీ ఐఎమ్ పర్సనలీ కన్విన్స్డ్ that in every one of us there is a Gandhi. That Gandhi is not ignited. Every child, in every child there is a Gandhi, there is a Nehru, there is peace lover. Every child.
I beg your pardon, sir. I beg your pardon. How do we? I beg your pardon, sir. How do we ignite that?
But this exactly is exactly the point. Abdul Kalam garu pustakam rasaru, and last days lo
Yes.
I had the privilege of sharing the dice with him. Kalam garu sir. ఆయన గారు ఆ పుస్తకంలో ఒక బ్యూటిఫుల్ పాయింట్ చెప్పాడు. ది పేరెంట్స్, స్టూడెంట్ అండ్ టీచర్ కలిస్తే ఇట్ బికమ్స్ ఎ వండర్ఫుల్, ఇట్ ఆగర్స్ వెల్ ఫర్ ది ఫ్యూచర్ ఆఫ్ ది కంట్రీ అన్న. అట్లీస్ట్ an hour, half an hour, పేరెంట్స్, చిల్డ్రన్, స్టూడెంట్స్ అండ్ టీచర్ జస్ట్ కలిశారంటే, అంటే పేరెంట్స్ మస్ట్ ఇంటరాక్ట్ విత్ టీచర్స్, and teachers must interact with parents, and teachers and parents put together must interact with youngsters. ఇప్పుడు honestly youngsters interact అవట్లేదండి. They are busy, వాళ్ళ గేమ్స్, వాళ్ళంతా ఆటలు, వాళ్ళు బిజీగా ఉంటారు. బట్ హౌ మెనీ ఫ్యామిలీ వాల్యూస్ అంటాం మనం. ఫ్యామిలీ వాల్యూస్ అంటే ఏమిటండి? వాట్ ఆర్ ఫ్యామిలీ వాల్యూస్? రెస్పెక్ట్ ఫర్ ఎల్డర్స్. మీకు ఒక చిన్న మాట చెప్తాను, ఏమనుకోకండి. ఎవరైనా కుర్రాళ్ళు వచ్చి దండం పెట్టినప్పుడు నేను కాళ్ళకి దండం పెడుతూ ఉంటాను స్టూడెంట్స్ ఎవరి నుంచి. నేను ఐ అడ్వైజ్ హిమ్ వెరీ ఫ్రాంక్లీ అండ్ ఆనెస్ట్లీ, రోజు ఒక్కసారి నీ తల్లిదండ్రులకి, ఎస్పెషల్లీ మీ మదర్కి వెళ్ళి కాళ్ళకి ఒక్కసారి దండం పెట్టు. కాళ్ళు గట్టిగా మమ్మీ స్టాండ్ ఇన్ అటెండెన్స్ అని అనద్దు. గో అండ్ టచ్ యువర్ మదర్స్ ఫీట్ జస్ట్ లైక్ దట్, అండ్ ది వైబ్రేషన్స్ ఆర్ టోటలీ డిఫరెంట్. దిస్ ఈస్ పర్ఫెక్ట్లీ ఇండియన్ కల్చర్ అనుకోవచ్చు మీరు. ఫారిన్ కంట్రీస్ లో చేస్తారు నేను అనుకున్నాను. దిస్ ఇస్ ఇండియన్ కల్చర్, కానీ బట్ దిస్ ఇస్ ఎ కల్చర్ దట్ టీచెస్ హ్యూమిలిటీ. బేసిక్ గా జిడ్డు కృష్ణమూర్తి గారు చెప్పారు, మీకు ఎవరైనా చిన్నవాళ్ళు గనక, వయసులో చిన్నవాళ్ళు చిన్నవాళ్ళు గనక దండం పెట్టినట్లయితే వాళ్ళు నేలకి పెట్టారు. నేలకంటే మదర్ ఎర్త్ ద్వారా మదర్ని చూశారు. మీరు కూడా వంగి ఒకసారి ఆ భూమిని టచ్ చేయండి, వాళ్ళకి టచ్ ఎక్కర్లేదు. దిస్ ఈస్ హ్యూమిలిటీ. నీ కాళ్ళు పట్టుకోవడంలో ధర్మం ఏంటండి? హ్యూమిలిటీ అండి. నేను గౌరవిస్తున్నాను, నీ వయసును గౌరవిస్తున్నాను, నీ పొజిషన్ గౌరవిస్తున్నాను, నీ విలువల్ని గౌరవిస్తున్నాను. ఆ గౌరవం ఉపాధ్యాయులకి, టీచర్లకి చెప్తారనుకోండి, నమస్కారం పెట్టచ్చు, నమస్తే అని. అందుకని దీనికి అనేక విధాలుగా చేశారు. ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఇన్స్టెన్స్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్ లో కూడా, కొన్ని ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్ లో రామకృష్ణ మిషన్ కానివ్వండి, లేకపోతే సత్యసాయి ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్ కానివ్వండి, ఈ విలువలకి చాలా ప్రాముఖ్యత ఇస్తున్నారండి. రామకృష్ణ మిషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ లో, స్కూల్స్ లో చదువుకున్న పిల్లలు, దే గ్రో ఇన్ టు డిఫరెంట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ యంగ్స్టర్స్ అండి. 6 ఏళ్ళు 13 ఏళ్ళు మధ్యన పిల్లలకి విలువలు పడతాయిటండి. 6 ఏళ్ళు 13 ఏళ్ళు మధ్యన పడిన విలువలు పర్మనెంట్ గా లైఫ్ లో ఉండిపోతాయిటండి. వాళ్ళకి 60 ఏళ్ళు వచ్చినా కూడా, ఐ లెర్న్ దిస్ ఇన్ మై 6th year, దిస్ ఇస్ ఎ వాల్యూ. సో వాల్యూ ఇన్కల్కేషన్ in schools and at home, basically. That is why ఎలాగ ఐన్స్టీన్ అన్నట్టు ఎడ్యుకేషన్ స్టార్ట్స్ at the doorstep అన్నాడు. At the doorstep of your house. మీ ఇంటి గుమ్మంలో విద్య. అందుకనే ఏదో సినిమాలో ఆయన చెప్పాడే, ఏదో విశ్వనాథ్ గారు, వాళ్ళ ఇంట్లో గుమ్మం కూడా పట్టుకుంటే సంగీతం పడుతుందన్నాడే. అలాగా పిల్లలకి ఎక్కడ ఆ వినయం కానీ, విద్య కానీ, విలువలు కానీ అది అందచేసే బాధ్యత పెద్దల మీద ఉంది. కాబట్టి ఎడ్యుకేషన్ బిగిన్స్ at home. And the first teacher is the mother. There is no greater teacher than the mother. తల్లి పాలిచ్చిన విద్య, తల్లి పాట పాడిన విద్య, తల్లి కేకలేసిన విద్య, తల్లి చంపగా కుట్టిన విద్య, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈజ్ విద్య. ఆ విద్యని మనం గనక గౌరవించినట్లయితే ఐ థింక్ ఇండియా ఈజ్ అన్ రైట్ డైరెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ దిస్. చాలా యువతరంలో కూడా మంచి విలువలు ఉన్నాయండి. వాళ్ళు పాడైపోయారన్నమాట మనం అనకూడదండి. పిల్లలు పాడైపోయారు అనకూడదు. టెక్నాలజీ వల్ల కొన్ని రావచ్చు, కానీ పిల్లలు పాడైపోతున్నారు అనకూడదండి. పిల్లల్లో మంచి చూడండి, పిల్లల్ని ఎంకరేజ్ చేయండి, వాళ్ళతో ఆడుకోండి, వాళ్ళతో మాట్లాడండి రోజుకి, అండ్ డెఫినెట్లీ వాల్యూ సిస్టమ్ మారిపోతుంది. ఐ డోంట్ థింక్ ఇండియాస్ ఫ్యూచర్ ఈస్ యంగెస్ట్ కంట్రీ ఇన్ ద వరల్డ్ అంటున్నారు కదా మన ఇప్పుడు. 50% అందరూ కూడా 20 ఏళ్ళు 25 ఏళ్ళ లోపు అన్నారు కదండి. వీళ్ళందరూ కూడా రేపు పొద్దున్న పరిపాలిస్తారు కదండి. So Indian democracy will be stronger in the years to come. There is no doubt about it. Kabatti, in my humble opinion, let us be optimistic. Let us be certain that the future generation will be a very healthy generation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Indi. Ramarao garu.
Yeah, Dipendu Chaudhary have answered a question, sir.
Namaskar, sir.
He's from Bengal.
Yes, I am from Bengal. I am proud to listen your valued lectures, sir. You referred many times West Bengal, and you oriented your lecture on secularism. We know very well that Gandhiji sacrificed his life for secularism and others. Just I referred, it was March 1947. Congress Working Committee decided that two-nation policy, that means partition of United India. Abdul Ghaffar Khan and Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad opposed the CWC decision on partition of India.
Yes.
And Gandhiji also was not ready to accept CWC decision on the partition of our country. And I can refer V.D. Savarkar, who was also the first to advance the two-nation theory 2 years before Muhammad Ali Jinnah led the struggle for a separate Muslim state, leading to the unfortunate tragic partition of the country, amiable, aided and abetted by the British. My question is, canvas of Indian harmony at present representing diversity at all, which guided by Mahatma Gandhi? Second one, after 75 years, what we found that Indian Safai Kormi is still working in the darkest manhole. Is this Gandhism? I have record. Government of India generated the bill on 1993 to protect Safai Kormi, and Government of India also banned to allow manual Safai in the manhole. But last year, central government informed that in the parliament that 321 Safai Kormi has been died because they were engaged with darkest life in the dark manhole. My question is, who will be answerable for this incident? Is it post-independence human society? Is Gandhiji informed about our nation, social culture of our country after 75 years?
I totally agree with you. It's a governmental failure, and the Safai, especially the tragedy, must be and can be solved by leadership. Today, my friend, please remember that there is a leadership deficit in the country. I'm not referring to any particular individual. Local leadership, for that matter, matters that should be locally solved. Local leadership is not there. Most towns and cities are suffering from factional leadership, but not local leadership. Local leadership is necessary. Factional leadership must be replaced by local leadership. Good leadership, people who are broad-minded, people who are cultured, they must lead the oppressed communities to which you referred just now. That is why they should not be allowed to die, because they're doing a job that is very important. And you see, Mahatma Gandhi gave broad outlines, but it is for the leaders to do it. And I personally feel a time will come, should come, when local leadership will rise to the occasion and something has to be done. Remember, one point in this context, you have raised a very good question. There is government, but more important than government is civil society. What is civil society? Civil society means in every town and village, individuals must form themselves into associations and bodies to correct the government, to advise the government, and to constantly monitor the working of the government. That is essential. Therefore, civil society must be strengthened, in my humble opinion. You take, for instance, Bengaluru, you take some cities in India, where civil society is very strong, where things are moving in a right direction. Not one, I'm just giving you one or two examples. In every state, one town or two towns must be role models, and civil society must spread. For that, good leadership is essential. Yes, you're absolutely right. I agree with you. Thank you very much.
పర్సనల్ గానే ఏమైనా ఉంటే అడగండి సార్, డౌట్స్ కానీ ఏమైనా క్వశ్చన్స్ కానీ ప్లీజ్. ఎనీబడి ఇస్ దేర్?
థ్యాంక్ యూ. థ్యాంక్ యూ మనోజ్ రెడ్డి గారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్. ఎక్కడున్నారు మీరు మనోజ్ రెడ్డి గారు?
Raghu Kumar garu, 1 second, sir. Raghu Kumar garu, he wanted to give a comment.
I'm available, sir. I'm available.
Yeah, please, sir. Go ahead.
Sir. Sorry, sir. I'm actually fascinated by your erudite expression on Gandhi and your study of Gandhi. But
1 second, sir. 1 second. Raghu Kumar garu also is a big fan of Gandhi, and he's studying Gandhi. In fact, he has written a book called the Gandhi, A Hope in Despair. It's a very good book. He has written.
Wonderful,
Yes,
wonderful.
yes.
I'll read it.
Yes, sir.
I'll send you my book also. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. The book on Gandhi, A Hope and Despair was published by me in October 2020.
My book on this is the 5th reprint. Gandhi,
Sir.
Footprints of Divinity.
That is my work on Gandhi. In all my humility, I would like to submit, sir. Somewhere in 2013 and 14, through social media, I started learning that there is a lot of diatribe against Gandhi. So I wanted to reread Gandhi from 2015 onwards up to 2019. I made an exclusive reading on Gandhi.
You see, one thing is a fact, indeed. Even the greatest of leaders, for instance, I was reading
Sir,
Jesus Christ, for instance.
sir,
Christ was nailed alive.
sir,
The cross was there.
Sir.
He was made to carry the cross in him. Greatness and criticism go together in
sure.
history.
Sure, sir. Sure. That's exactly what I am trying to contribute, sir. I would like to refer some 4 or 5 books for the sake of discussion on Gandhi, especially the one is David Hardiman's Gandhi in his times and ours.
I'll tell you one interesting thing.
Sir.
No perceptions and
Sir.
Mountbatten, నేను మొన్నే చదివాను, అందుకనే మీకు చెప్తున్నాను. Mountbatten 1947 గవర్నర్ జనరల్ కదా మనకి,
Sir.
లాస్ట్ బ్రిటిష్ గవర్నర్ జనరల్ కదా.
Sir.
ఆయన స్వాతంత్రం వచ్చిన తర్వాత నేషనల్ ఫ్లాగ్ రాత్రి నెహ్రూ ఎగరేశారు, మొన్నటి పొద్దున గవర్నర్ జనరల్ ఎగరేశాడు. ఎగరేసిన తర్వాత పాకిస్తాన్ కూడా, ఇప్పుడు ఇంకా పాకిస్తాన్ లో కూడా గవర్నర్ జనరల్ అతనే. బ్రిటిష్ వాళ్ళు అతన్ని 2 కంట్రీస్ కి గవర్నర్ జనరల్ చేశాడు. హిస్టోరియన్ చాలా మంచి పాయింట్ రాశాడు. ఇండియాలో ఫ్లాగ్ ఎగరేసిన తర్వాత దెర్ వాజ్ అ స్మైల్ ఆన్ హిస్ ఫేస్, బట్ పాకిస్తాన్ కి వెళ్ళి వచ్చిన తర్వాత హిస్ ఫేస్ వాజ్ డిఫరెంట్. అది స్మైల్ కాస్త పోయి మొహం వదలగా అయిపోయింది ఆయన. హీ వాజ్ డిసప్పాయింటెడ్. అంటే పాకిస్తాన్లోకి వెళ్ళి ఒకసారి చూసి వచ్చాడు, డిసప్పాయింట్ అయ్యాడు. అంటే బైఫర్కేషన్ వల్ల పాకిస్తాన్ బ్యాడ్ అని కాదు, ఇండియా గొప్పని కాదు, బైఫర్కేషన్ వల్ల కొన్ని ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వచ్చాయి. దెర్ ఇస్ నో డౌట్ అబౌట్ ఇట్. అది ఆ హ్యాంగ్ ఓవర్, బ్రిటిష్ హ్యాంగ్ ఓవర్ అంతా, బ్రిటిష్ ప్రెజిడిస్, బ్రిటిష్ వాళ్ళు బైఫర్కేట్ చేసింది మన మీద ప్రేమతో కాదండి. వాళ్ళు వెళ్ళిపోవడానికి ఇంకా భరించలేక ఎవరో ఒక ఆయన జోక్ చేశాడు, 1947లో స్వాతంత్రం వచ్చింది ఇండియా కాదు బ్రిటన్ అన్నాడు. ఎందుకంటే బ్రిటిష్ వాళ్ళు మనం వదిలేసి వెళ్ళిపోయారు, బ్రిటన్ తగ్గిపోయిందని. ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఇండియా దట్ గాట్ ఫ్రీడమ్, బ్రిటన్ దట్ గాట్ ఫ్రీడమ్ ఇన్ 1947 because they were not able to maintain the country, the diversity. Somebody was referring to diversity earlier, the diversity of the country, the huge diversity. Therefore, criticism is always there. When Mahatma Gandhi, we are not saying that Gandhi himself said, I am full of, he's a paradox అన్నారు. మొదట్లోనే మీకు మనవి చేశాను, ఆయన ఒక పారాడాక్స్, ఒక కాంట్రడిక్షన్. ఆయన కొన్ని చేసినవి ఆయనకి, నెహ్రూ గారికి కూడా ఆయనకి విభేదాలు వచ్చాయి, వాళ్ళు డిసగ్రిమెంట్లు వచ్చాయి. అందుకనే గాంధీ గారికి గురించి మాట్లాడినప్పుడు తమాషాగా ఒక ఆయన అన్నాడు, నెహ్రూ వాజ్ హిస్ హార్ట్, రాజాజీ వాజ్ హిస్ హెడ్ అండ్ పటేల్ వాజ్ హిస్ హ్యాండ్ అన్నాడు.
వాల్ట్ విట్మెన్ పోయం ఒకటి ఉంటుంది కదా సార్. Am I contradicting myself? Yes, I am, because I contain multitudes అంటాడు. అట్లా గాంధీ టెక్స్ట్ లో కూడా నేను ఇది కోట్ చేశాను, వాల్ట్ విట్మెన్ ని. హౌ డు వి అండర్స్టాండ్ గాంధీ అనే దాని మీద. It's a great occasion, sir, that I would like to shortly share my work with you once I get your address and other things through.
Thank you, all of you, for your kind presence.
Kind of you.
Greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.
Manoj.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for giving us the time.
Thank you.
And had a wonderful talk, sir. Really, you have done a great research towards Gandhi and father of the nation. And I heard about you when I was kid, sir, at Sundar Reddy Gari's residence, and your soulmate to Dr. M. Gopal Krishna Reddy Garu. I know it. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us the time. And please take care of your health and get well soon, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ramana.
Thank you. Namaskaram.
Thank you, sir.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Thank you.
సో తెలంగాణ జనవేదిక జూమ్ ఆన్లైన్ మీటింగ్ వచ్చేసి మన కాలానికి మహాత్మా గాంధీ అనేటువంటి అంశం మీద ప్రొఫెసర్ ప్రసన్న కుమార్ గారు కీలక ప్రశ్న ఇచ్చినందుకు మా తెలంగాణ జనవేదిక తరఫున ప్రత్యేకమైనటువంటి ధన్యవాదాలు సార్. అదేవిధంగా ఇవాళ కార్యక్రమంలో పాల్గొన్నటువంటి ప్రొఫెసర్ డాక్టర్ హరిప్రసాద్ గారికి, ప్రొఫెసర్ సంజీవ్ రెడ్డి గారికి, మరియు డాక్టర్ రఘుకుమార్ గారికి, ఇతర మిత్రులందరికీ పేరు పేరున ధన్యవాదాలు తెలియజేసుకుంటూ ఈనాటి ఈ అంశం ఇంతటితో ముగిస్తున్నాం. వచ్చే వారము మరొక అంశంతో కలుసుకుంటామని తెలియజేస్తూ మరొకసారి అందరికీ తెలంగాణ జనవేదిక తరఫున ప్రత్యేకమైనటువంటి ధన్యవాదాలు సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఎవ్రీవన్ సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
మీ అందరికీ నమస్కారం. థ్యాంక్ యూ. ఎందరో
మహానుభావులు.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. It was really a wonderful session. Though I had some power outage and some part of your speech I could not listen, but still I enjoyed and it was really an enlightenment, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Reddy garu ippude join ayinaru. Unfortunately, the speaker has some issue, a very important issue in his home, so he has to leave. So that is the reason we have advanced this meeting and to facilitate his talk. I'm very thankful to all of you, and thank you so much. We'll meet next week at 5:30 our usual time. Thank you so much.
Bye, Anna.